All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning, I'm Sunil Verma and with me is Vaibhav Jyotsna Srivastav. The headlines. Democrat Joe Biden beat Donald Trump to become 46th US President. Kamala Harris to be first woman Vice President. President Ramnath Kovind and Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulate Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Indian diplomat Vidisha Maitra elected to key United Nations committee that controls financial and budgetary purse of the world body. Prime Minister to inaugurate RoPax service between Hazira and Ghogha in Gujarat this morning. And in IPL cricket, Sunrisers Hyderabad to take on Delhi Capitals in second qualifier in Abu Dhabi this evening. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these three simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, and focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news. Democrat Joe Biden beat Republican Donald Trump to become the 46th President of the United States in a very closely fought presidential elections which witnessed many cliffhanger episodes. Biden clinched the race by securing 279 electoral votes. The winning moment was decided when the Democrats made a stamping lead in the state of Pennsylvania, sealing their victory in one of the most crucial swing states. More from our correspondent.
In the 538-member Electoral College in the United States, the candidate needs to secure at least 270 electoral votes to be declared as the president-elect. Mr. Biden, who will be the oldest American president to assume office at the age of 78, received nearly 70.45 million popular votes in the presidential elections, which is also the highest number of votes received by any U.S. presidential candidate so far in the history of American elections. The Republican presidential nominee, Donald Trump, has secured 214 electoral votes so far with nearly 70.03 million popular votes. The counting is still underway in few states like Arizona, Georgia, and North Carolina. The Democrats have so far been able to flip Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania compared to the 2016 elections. They have also maintained their lead in the states of Arizona and Georgia. Anand Chaturvedi, Delhi.
With the declaration of Joe Biden as the president-elect based on the projections of the electoral votes, Democratic Party candidate Kamala Harris has also secured her position as the first woman to be the Vice President of the USA. Ms. Harris is also credited to be the first woman of Indian American and African American origin to be a member of the United States Senate. In his message just after being declared as the president-elect, Mr. Biden said that he is honored with the support which the people of America have reposed in him to lead the country. He assured citizens that he will keep the faith that he has been entrusted in him and said that he will be the president for all Americans, irrespective of whom they have voted for. Mr. Biden said that people have given the mandate to the Democratic Party to take action on COVID, economy, climate change, and systemic racism. The Electoral College representatives elected by the popular votes will cast their votes to officially elect the new president on the 14th of next month. The new president will thereafter assume office on the 20th of January next year after the inauguration ceremony. Amidst the ongoing electoral process, Republican candidate Donald Trump has challenged the lengthy process of counting mail ballots across many key states, raising serious allegations. Trump campaign team has also filed legal suits against the process in the states of Pennsylvania, Nevada, and Arizona, among others. U.S. President-elect Joe Biden has thanked his supporters for voting for him. In his address, Biden said he does not see red states and blue states, but only the United States.
I believe it's this. Americans have called upon us to marshal the forces of decency, the forces of fairness, to marshal the forces of science and the forces of hope in the great battles of our time. The battle to control the virus, the battle to build prosperity, the battle to secure your family's health care, The battle to achieve racial justice and root out systemic racism in this country.
Vice President-elect Kamala Harris thanked supporters and said, Americans chose hope, decency, science and truth.
I will strive to be a vice president like Joe was to President Obama, loyal, honest, and prepared, waking up every day thinking of you and your family. Because now is when the real work begins. The hard work, the necessary work, the good work, the essential work to save lives and beat this epidemic, to rebuild our economy.
President Ramnath Kovind has congratulated Joe Biden on his election as the U.S. President and Kamala Harris as the Vice President. In a tweet, Mr. Kovind wished Mr. Biden a successful tenure and said he is looking forward to working with him to further strengthen India-US relations. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also congratulated US President-elect Joe Biden on his victory in the elections. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said, as the US Vice President, Mr. Biden's contribution to strengthening Indo-US relations was critical and invaluable. Prime Minister said he is looking forward to work closely together once again to take India-US relations to greater heights. Congratulating US Vice President-elect Kamala Harris, Mr. Modi said, her success is path-breaking and a matter of immense pride not just for her chittis, but also for all Indian Americans. The Prime Minister expressed confidence that the vibrant India-US ties will get even stronger with her support and leadership. World leaders have congratulated President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Devi Harris on their victory in the 2020 US presidential elections. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson said he looks forward to working with Biden and Harris on issues ranging from climate change to trade and security. German Chancellor Angela Merkel congratulated Biden and Harris. She tweeted that she will look forward to future cooperation with President Biden. French President Emmanuel Macron also congratulated Biden for his projected win, saying they have many challenges to face. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau congratulated Biden and his running mate Kamala Harris, saying he was really looking forward to working with them. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has said he looks forward to joint cooperation and to work to enhance strategic relations between the two countries.
India's Vidisha Maitra was elected to UN Body Advisory Committee on Administrative and Budgetary Questions ACABQ with strong support of the member states. India's permanent representative to the UN, Ambassador T.S. Tirumurti, expressed gratitude to the member states in reposing faith in India's candidate. He added that India has a stellar record of bringing its professional auditing experience to the UN. He affirmed that India takes the responsibility very seriously. The Ministry of External Affairs has said that the Indian High Commission in Dhaka and posts in Bangladesh are in close contact with local authorities in the government of Bangladesh after incidents of violence against minority community in Muradnagar Up-Zilla of Kumila in eastern part of the neighbouring country. Official spokesperson of the ministry, Mr. Anurag Srivastav, said that the authorities have taken this incident and all other incidents relating to efforts to stoke social and communal tensions very seriously.
India's workhorse rocket PSLV C-49 has successfully launched country's latest Earth observation satellite EOS-01 and placed it into its intended orbit yesterday. In a copybook-styled mission, the launch vehicle also put 9 foreign satellites into space. ISRO chief Dr. K. Savan congratulated the scientists, engineers and technicians involved in the mission, saying it is like a celebration ahead of the festival of Deepavali.
Today, the PSLV C-49 successfully placed Earth Observation Satellite EOS-01 as well as 9 customer satellites precisely into the 575-kilometer orbit. Subsequent to this mission, the satellite started operating its own functions. The solar panel of the satellite also successfully deployed.
The successful PSLV mission has resulted in increased capacity for the user agencies of the nation in viewing the surface of the earth seamlessly for agriculture, forestry and disaster management applications. You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Democrat Joe Biden beat Donald Trump to become 46th U.S. President. Kamala Harris to be the first woman Vice President. President Ramnath Kovind and Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulate Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Indian diplomat Vidisha Mehta elected to key United Nations committee that controls financial and budgetary purse of the world body. Prime Minister to inaugurate Ro-Pax ferry service between Hazira and Ghogha in Gujarat this morning. And in IPL cricket, Sunrisers Hyderabad to take on Delhi Capitals in the second qualifier in Abu Dhabi this evening. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
News Services Division of All India Radio brings to you program Employment News in association with the Publications Division, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. An effective platform for information on job vacancies, training programs, admission notices, results and career advice with experts. Every day at 4:20 p.m. on FM Gold and other frequencies and on our YouTube channel AIR News Official.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the Ro-Pax terminal at Hazira and flag off Ro-Pax service between Hazira and Ghogha in Gujarat today through video conferencing. It marks a big step towards the Prime Minister's vision of harnessing waterways and integrating them with the economic development of the country. The Prime Minister will also interact with local users of the service during the event. Hazira-Ghogha Ro-Pax ferry service will work as a gateway to South Gujarat and Saurashtra region. It will give an impetus to the tourism industry with ease of access to Saurashtra region and lead to creation of new job opportunities. With the onset of ferry services, the port sector, furniture and fertilizers industries in Saurashtra and Kutch region will get a big boost. Eco-tourism and religious tourism in Gujarat, especially in Porbandar, Somnath, Dwarka and Palitana, will grow exponentially. Our correspondent reports the benefits of enhanced connectivity through this ferry service will also result in increased inflow of tourists in the famous Asiatic Lion Wildlife Sanctuary at Gir.
The Ro-Pax terminal at Hazira is of 100 meters length and 40 meters width, completed at the cost of Rs 25 crore. The terminal has wide-ranging facilities including administrative office building, parking area, substation and water tower. The Ro-Pax ferry vessel, Voyage Symphony, is a 3-deck vessel. It has a load capacity of 30 trucks on the main deck, 100 passenger cars on the upper deck and 500 passengers and 34 crew and hospitality staff on the passenger deck. It will reduce the distance between Ghogha and Hazira from 370 kilometers to 90 kilometers. The reduced cargo travel time from 10 to 12 hours to about 4 hours will result in huge savings of fuel, approximately 9,000 liters per day, and lower the maintenance cost of vehicles drastically. It will also lead to reduction in CO2 emission by approximately 24 metric ton per day and net savings of approximately 8,653 metric ton per annum. Yogesh Pandya, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that today is a very important day for Gujarat. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said, Surat and Saurashtra are going to be connected with the waterways. The Prime Minister said the inauguration of Ro-Pax ferry service between Hazira and Ghogha will save time and fuel, while trade and industry will get a boost.
The Prime Minister has asked the fresh IIT graduates to recognize the needs of the country and connect with the changes on the ground. He has also asked them to identify with the aspirations of the common people in the context of Atmanirbhar Bharat. The Prime Minister was addressing the 51st annual convocation ceremony of IIT Delhi as the chief guest via video conferencing in Delhi yesterday. Congratulating more than 2,000 IITians on their convocation, the Prime Minister said, Atmanirbhar Bharat campaign is a mission that gives opportunities to youth, technocrats and tech enterprise leaders of the country.
आत्मनिर्भर भारत अभियान आज देश के नौजवानों को, टेक्नोक्रेट्स को, टेक एंटरप्राइज लीडर्स को अनेक नई अपॉर्चुनिटीज देने का भी एक अहम अभियान है। देश आपको ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस देगा। आप आपकी महारत से, आपके अनुभव से, आपके टैलेंट से, आपके इनोवेशन से इस देश के गरीब से गरीब नागरिक को ईज ऑफ लिविंग देने के लिए नए नए इनोवेशंस लेकर के आइए, नई नई चीजें लेकर के आइए।
The Prime Minister said other service provider OSP guidelines have been simplified and restrictions have been removed recently, which would reduce the burden of compliance for BPO industries. He added that the provisions that prevented the tech industry from facilities such as work from home or work from anywhere have also been removed. This will make the country's IT sector globally competitive and will give more opportunities to young talent. The Prime Minister said India is among the countries where corporate tax is the lowest. More than 50,000 startups have been set up in India since the launch of the Startup India campaign.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate and lay the foundation stone of various development projects in Varanasi tomorrow via video conferencing. The total cost implication of these projects is 614 crore rupees. Mr. Modi will also interact with the beneficiaries of these projects during the event. The government today said that globally, India continues to report one of the lowest COVID mortality rates. In a tweet, the Health Ministry said, on a steady decline, India's fatality rate is 1.48%. The ministry said 22 states and union territories are demonstrating case fatality rate less than the national average even today. The ministry also said that the recovery rate of COVID patients in 18 states and UTs have more than the national average. It said widespread and comprehensive testing, prompt tracing, quick isolation and effective treatment of severe patients in ICUs through a standard of care protocol across government and private hospitals have resulted in this outcome.
The country's COVID-19 recovery rate has improved to 92.41%. During the last 24 hours, more than 53,000 COVID patients have recovered. The Health Ministry said the last 5 weeks have seen a continuous decline in average daily new cases. In Tamil Nadu, the active COVID-19 caseload dropped below 19,000 yesterday. 2,341 people, including 603 in Chennai, tested positive in the last 24 hours. We have a report.
When the active COVID-19 caseload in Tamil Nadu is taken as the reference parameter, the curve has retraced the June 13 level. Furthermore, the new infections are also almost comparable to the count that was witnessed on June 20th. The peak in the total patients under treatment was reached on July 31st, and since then, the fall has been very steep for a while. Meanwhile, as part of the Covishield vaccine's field trial in Chennai, its first dose has been administered to about 75 volunteers. The health officials are planning to administer the second dose in a few weeks and monitor them for a few months for an elaborate assessment. Jai Singh, AAR News, Chennai.
Kerala continues to report a surge in COVID-19 cases as it confirms 7,201 new cases lately. 7,120 recoveries were also recorded. Meanwhile, as 28 more deaths were confirmed, taking the death toll in the state to 1,668. Presently, the total active COVID cases in Kerala are 83,261.
In Odisha, COVID-19 positive case count has crossed 3 lakh mark, with 1,372 fresh cases reported during the last 24 hours. The cumulative number of COVID-positive persons in the state has increased to 3,140. On the other hand, a total of 2,86,857 patients have also recovered from the infection so far. A report.
In terms of COVID-19 caseload, while Khordha, the district playing host to capital Bhubaneswar, tops the list with about 50,000 cases from out of the total 3 lakh plus cases, the adjoining Cuttack district comes second with about half as many cases. In terms of fatalities too, Khordha is ahead of the rest 29 districts with as many as 245 deaths from out of the total 1,410 fatalities so far. However, with a sustained recovery of about 1,500 patients on a daily basis as of now, the active caseload has slumped down below 14,000, with about 75% of the positive cases convalescing in the comfort of home isolation. Girish Chandra Das, Bhubaneswar.
A total of 6,953 new confirmed cases of coronavirus infection were reported in Delhi during the last 24 hours, taking the total number of cases to over 4,30,784. The Delhi government said that over 3,83,000 people affected with coronavirus have been cured so far. In the last 24 hours, 6,338 people recovered and 79 deaths were reported in the city, taking the toll to 6,912. Presently, the total number of active cases in the national capital is 40,258. Gujarat recorded 1,046 new cases during the last 24 hours. A total of 1,63,777 patients recovered. 931 patients recovered during the last 24 hours. More than 64,16,000 tests have been carried out in the state till date. Maximum 192 new cases were reported from Surat, while Ahmedabad recorded 182 new cases. At present, the total active cases in the state are 12,146, out of which 71 patients are on ventilator. 5 patients died yesterday, taking the total deaths due to COVID-19 up to 3,756. In Madhya Pradesh, the number of newly infected patients has reduced to less than 100 in all districts except Bhopal. At the same time, in more than 26,000 tests conducted in the last 24 hours, the number of positive samples has been found to be just 3.2%. We have a report.
The number of infected people reported daily in 28 districts of Madhya Pradesh has been reduced to 10 or even less. Similarly, 20 or less patients have been reported in the last 24 hours in 16 districts. While capital city Bhopal has reported 173 new patients, but the most infected city of the state, Indore, showing remarkable improvement, and only 81 new patients have been reported here yesterday. As per the state health bulletin, 792 coronavirus patients were discharged from the hospitals in the past 24 hours, taking the number of recovered cases in the state to more than 1,65,000. There are now 7,736 active cases in Madhya Pradesh. Meanwhile, the overall COVID-19 cases in the state reached to around 1,76,000 after 865 new cases were reported in the past 24 hours. Sanjeev Sharma, AIR News, Bhopal.
Maharashtra government has ordered for the reopening of high and senior secondary schools post Diwali. Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray said schools from classes 9th to 12th should be started after Diwali after ensuring proper precautions for the safety of students. He was speaking yesterday at a meeting hosted by video conferencing, which also saw the participation of Education Minister Varsha Gaikwad, Minister of State Bachchu Kadu, Additional Chief Secretary Vandana Krishna, among others. The Chief Minister further said that considering the global situation, the possibility of another wave of corona cannot be ruled out, and there is need to be vigilant after Deepavali. More from our correspondent.
School Education Minister Varsha Gaikwad said the RT-PCR tests of all the teachers will be conducted through local administration between 17 and 22nd November before the start of school. There will be 4-hour school in which only difficult subjects like science, mathematics and English will be taught. She also clarified that there will be facility of online classes for these subjects and other subjects as well. Schools in which quarantine centers have been set up will remain as it is, and the local administration should decide whether the schools in such places can be started in an alternative space. The government said the schools will be started in phases in collaboration with the local administration, and a detailed SOP has been prepared for the same. Devapriya Bhattacharjee, AIR News, Mumbai.
The Railway Ministry has granted permission to the candidates of Combined Defence Services CDS exams to travel by special suburban services over the Mumbai suburban train network. Valid identity cards of the candidates for this examination will be considered as authority for entry at the stations. Scores of candidates are appearing for CDS exams amid the pandemic. They have been asked to wear protective face masks, face shields to the examination centre.
A special court in Mumbai has adjourned to November the 10th, hearing on the anticipatory bail plea of Karishma Prakash, former manager of actress Deepika Padukone, in connection with the case related to the alleged drug abuse by Bollywood celebrities. The special court also extended the interim relief granted to Karishma Prakash in the case and asked her to cooperate with the investigating agency when called. Film producer Kshitij Ravi Prasad, an African national, Egisilao Dimitridias, has been remanded to 14-day judicial custody by Mumbai court in connection with the second drugs case related to the recovery of cocaine from a Nigerian national. Earlier, the two were taken for medical examinations as part of the procedure on the completion of their custody to the Narcotics Control Bureau (NCB).
Nagaland Tourism Department has informed that state government decided to celebrate the Hornbill Festival 2020 in a complete virtual mode only through various audio-visual media channels and social media platforms. The content for the virtual festival will be sourced from government archives. Dubbed as the Festival of Festivals, the Hornbill Festival is celebrated every year from December the 1st to 10th, showcasing the rich cultural heritage and tradition of the Nagas in one platform at Naga Heritage Village, Kisama, under the Kohima district. In IPL cricket, Sunrisers Hyderabad will take on Delhi Capitals in the second qualifier match in Abu Dhabi today. The winner of the match will face Mumbai Indians in the finals on Tuesday. In Women's T20 Challenge Cricket Tournament, Supernovas defeated the Trailblazers by 2 runs at the Sharjah Stadium yesterday. Supernova will take on Trailblazers again in the finals, which will be played on Monday. Supernova has won both the early editions of the Women's T20 Challenge.
And now let us take a look at the weather update for today. The national capital experienced mist in the early morning. The minimum temperature was 14 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 29 degrees in New Delhi. The air quality in Delhi continues to remain in severe category this morning. In Mumbai, sky will be mainly clear. The minimum temperature in the metropolis was 20 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 35 degrees. Chennai is likely to witness generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. The temperature will hover between 25 and 31 degrees Celsius. Kolkata is also expected to have mainly clear sky with temperature varying between 19 and 31 degrees Celsius. In Jammu, the sky will be mainly clear with minimum temperature of 11 degrees Celsius and the maximum of around 29 degrees Celsius. Srinagar will also have mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature in the city was -1 degree Celsius, while the maximum will be around 20 degrees. In Leh, the sky will be mainly clear. The minimum temperature was -7 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 12 degrees. Gilgit will have mainly clear sky with temperature rising from -1 to 23 degrees Celsius. In Muzaffarabad, the sky will be mainly clear and the temperature will range between 8 and 27 degrees Celsius. In Dehradun, the temperature will hover between 11 and 28 degrees Celsius. The city will have mainly clear sky. Chandigarh's sky will be mainly clear. The minimum temperature recorded was 12 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 29 degrees. In Hyderabad, the minimum temperature was 19 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be around 31 degrees. The city will have partly cloudy sky with haze.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. The top stories in most dailies refer to Joe Biden's win in the US elections. Yes, he can too, reads the headline in Hindustan Times. Biden 46th US President, writes the Sunday Tribune. The Sunday Express headline simply says, finally. Kamala creates history, is the first black woman to be VP is the headline in the Asian Age. Many firsts in Harris's historic VP win, writes the Sunday Statesman. At 7,178, Delhi records the highest cases in 24 hours, says the Sunday Tribune headline. Sunday Time writes at 79, COVID deaths in Delhi at a 144-day high. Sunday Pioneer quotes the Indian Medical Association as saying that air pollution raised COVID cases in Delhi by 13%. And finally, for the first time, India Meteorological Department will forecast malaria outbreaks from the next monsoon, reports Sunday Pioneer.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Democrat Joe Biden beat Donald Trump to become 46th U.S. President. Kamala Harris to be first woman Vice President. President Ramnath Kovind and Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulate Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Indian diplomat Vidisha Maitra elected to key United Nations committee that controls financial and budgetary purse of the world body. Prime Minister to inaugurate RoPax service between Hazira and Ghogha in Gujarat this morning. And in IPL cricket, Sunrisers Hyderabad to take on Delhi Capitals in second qualifier in Abu Dhabi this evening. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.com and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.